questions for the student athletes. Coach?
We're excited to be back in the tournament for our third straight year. It's a tremendous accomplishment for these guys to have come as far as we have with some of the issues that this team has had to go through. They put us on our back for the last month of the season, and you know, you don't want to be playing a 16, as you can see from the games that are going on today. But you know, the opportunity to be back again and the notoriety that brings the university, we're real proud and are looking forward to tomorrow.
Thanks, Coach. Please raise your hand for questions for the student athletes. Over here on the left.
Hi Heather, Kurt Rollo, South Bend Tribune. Can you just talk about how well you and Jasmine play as a tandem, because you're both prolific scorers and assist makers and all those steals?
We definitely, I think, go well together on the court because she's a very good ball handler, and she definitely goes to the hole very hard, and when she does that, that kind of opens up, you know, for our shots on the outside and for my shot. And so when she does that and goes to the lane hard, then we get our shots on the outside. And then if they don't help on us, you know, then she gets to go to the lane. And I think that definitely, we're very compatible with each other on the court that way.
Again on the left.
Hi Jasmine, can you talk a little bit about the matchup with Notre Dame's guards? What are concerns and where you see some advantages for you guys?
I haven't really thought about the advantages because I haven't really seen them play this year. But I think we'll match up very well with them, because I'm sure they won't really be worried about us. But I mean, we're just going into the game with a mindset that we have nothing to lose. We've played against good guards before, so I think we're prepared for it.
In front.
Three other players. You've played Stanford, you've played Baylor. Does that take away a little bit of the wow factor playing the #1 seed?
Yes, I believe it does because, I mean, like you said before, we played those teams, so we know what we're getting ourselves into.
Heather.
And I think definitely that's why we schedule the big teams, you know, during the season, Baylor, Stanford, and Purdue, and all the big teams to kind of prepare ourselves for the end of the season, kind of for you know, tournament time right here. And I definitely think that it got us prepared for now.
Over here on the left.
Hi Heather, can you talk about just the transition game, what it means to your offense, and how efficient you guys are at that this season?
During the beginning, we kind of looked to push the ball a lot, and kind of towards the end, we kind of looked towards the slow it down sometimes and kind of speed it up when we had a good shot on transition. But I think coming into this game, I think that we just got to be smart with our possessions. We just have to, if we have a fast break and against 3-on-5 or something, then we need to take it. But if not, we need to slow down and run our offense and execute and get a good shot.
Jasmine, you guys have won 8 in a row. What's been the key to your success during that winning streak?
I think it was one day in practice or something, Coach came and said that he was basically going to take over and we were going to play the way we were supposed to play. And basically we knew that we had to win games to get a top seed in the OVC tournament, and then once we got to the OVC tournament, we didn't want to lose, we didn't want to go home.
Up front.
To both Jasmine and Heather, when did you guys realize that, whether it was freshman year or sophomore year, that you guys kind of had the ability to become the scorers that you both are now?
Start with Jasmine.
Oh, God.
Okay, freshman year coming in, I didn't know what to expect at all. Going against bigger colleges and bigger girls, because I wasn't used to that in high school. And once we started playing those bigger teams, and we started scoring, I definitely realized, okay, we definitely have a chance to play with these people. And ever since, you know, playing that first big team, I remember realizing, like Vanderbilt, we played Vanderbilt. I remember thinking, okay, we can play with these girls, and you know, we can't, you know, get intimidated. We just got to go out there and just play ball.
Jasmine?
Basically, I just wanted to prove that I belonged on the court with like bigger names people. So I just wanted to go out there and show people that like maybe overlook me, that I belong on the court with the same players.
Any other questions for the student athletes? Okay, we'll dismiss the student athletes at this time. Thanks, Jasmine and Heather.
Thank you.
Locker room will be open until 1 o'clock. Now questions for Coach. Again, raise your hand if you have a question. Over here on the left.
Hi, Coach. Kurt Rowell, South End Tribune. Can you talk a little bit about Notre Dame's inside game and the challenges that Achanwa and Breaker pose for you?
Besides the fact that they have an inside game and we don't, would be the first challenge. Those kids are overlooked. You know, the guards get so much attention for Notre Dame that you overlook those guys, and you can't, because I think that they may be a little bit of a key. I think you saw when Jasmine got 20 and 20 a couple games ago that they're just, you tend to think that that's a weakness, and I thought the last time they played their last game of the championship, that's where Connecticut tried to expose them, was down low, and it didn't work. So if that's not a weakness, we know the guards aren't a weakness. Somebody, y'all have an idea what the weakness is? Give us some help here, guys. But I do. I think that they're very team-oriented players. They're not worried about the spotlight. They're not worried about anything. They kind of are blue-collar kids that do all the grunt work, I guess you could say, and they're the kind of kids you have to have on your team if you're going to make a run. And when you've got people that'll sell out to do the job that those guys do, you see a great basketball team.
Get on the left.
What's going to be the most critical element for your team to be successful? The transition game, the three-point shooting?
The officials. If the officials blow the whistle, it's going to be a different type of a game. You know, we traditionally get to the free throw line quite a bit, but we play. This is the third NCAA tournament. We played Baylor, we played Stanford, we played Purdue, and what happens in the big games is that we shoot about half as many free throws as we do in any other normal game, but we don't run anything different. The teams are bigger, but the hand checking and the bumping is the same as it always is. And I don't know if it's that they think that because you're in a bigger name game that those aren't as many fouls, or I don't know what, but if we don't get to the free throw, if we average 10 free throws, which is what we've done when we play big teams, it's going to be ugly. And the opportunity for us is, what if those two little guards that were sitting here can get we did it with Baylor, and if we can do it again with Notre Dame, get them in foul trouble and get them sitting over on the bench. I would like to see those guys sitting over there watching more than I would to see watch them out there playing. They're great guards, and I enjoy watching them whenever I can, but I'd rather see them sitting over there. And Butler and Newsome have the potential to cause some foul problems for people. But the big question is going to be, are they going to call it? Last year in the NCAA tournament, we played Tennessee, and going in, we said we didn't want to be intimidated, especially because of being from Tennessee. And you know, we told our kids to foul the first possession. Foul. I said, I don't care what you do, we got to foul, because we got to send a message that we're not going to be intimidated. And I had a little girl that fouled 4 times, and the 4th one was called, and she came over and apologized and said, Coach, I grabbed her once, they didn't call it. And I said, it's going to be a long night for us if they're not going to call that. And so I think that's probably, I'm not understating it, that's going to be the biggest thing, is are there going to be chances for our kids to get on the free throw line? If we're shooting 2 free throws or 4 free throws, there's no way. I mean, we don't have a prayer. You know, and they're so good defensively. My gosh, they can switch everything. They can defend us any way they want to on the perimeter. They can change up ways they defend. there's no real weakness for us to exploit, which is the challenge. We don't mind playing the big teams when they've got a big, slow post kid, even if they're an All-American, because they don't want to come out and defend those kids on the perimeter, so we'll try to do that. Or they may not have two guards that can defend really good on the perimeter. Well, Notre Dame can do all of those things. So, you know, there's challenge after challenge after challenge that's lined up for us, and we're going to need some help.
Up front?
Were those two kind of overlooked in the recruiting process because of their size? How were you able to get them?
Well, if you saw them when they walked out of here, they look more like cheerleaders than they do basketball players. Well, Butler, they're both interesting stories. Butler played for me in high school. So I've coached her back since she was a ninth grader. And the funny story when you asked her about scoring was when she was a ninth grader and I got her, I said, "You're going to have to shoot for us." And she says, "Coach, that's not what I do. I'm a point guard, I don't shoot." And I said, "Oh, okay." And so we started practicing. I sat her over on the bench and we just started practicing without her. And we took a water break or something and she said, what did I do? I said, "Well, you told me you're not going to shoot. So you might as well sit over here with me." And that was the last time I ever had to tell her don't shoot. And what she did after that was phenomenal. Broke state records and did all kinds of stuff. And when I got the job at UT Martin, she was the one that we wanted to come with us, and for obvious reasons. But at being 5'4" or 5'5", you're going to be overlooked. But she's a tough matchup to keep the people in front of you. So, you know, I had a connection with her having coached her in high school, and the strange thing is that Jasmine is from Millington High School in Tennessee, which is where I started. That was where I had my first job, and her family knew that I had been there before and had done some research, and her dad and I talked, and he wanted her to come up there and play. And so, you know, to get both of those kids was just a phenomenal coup for us. But they weren't choosing. They only had 2 or 3 offers on the table when they were in seniors. So I don't think today it would be that way because, you know, 2 top 10 scorers on the same team was probably not going to be overlooked. But we were fortunate that they were.
Coach, how has your team grown from the start of the season?
Well, we had a team last year that was in the tournament. We started 4 sophomores. We were in the tournament 2 years ago against Duke. We started 5 freshmen, I think. And so we have gotten a little older. Well, at the end of last year, after this game last year, we got home, and the next day I had 2 walk in that quit. Just didn't want to play anymore. And they're just going to school right now, working on their degree. And that really put us in a bind because we had not recruited to fill that. And so this year was a challenge at the beginning of the year because we were trying to fill some holes that we didn't know we were going to have. So that got us a little bit of a slow start. And plus we had scheduled thinking we were going to have those kids and thinking we were going to be a mature team heading into that process. And when we played Baylor and Stanford, we had 2 freshmen out there, and Lord help those kids. Golly. But then we've lost 3 kids for the season at various times, and every time we seem to think we're about to get going somewhere, we'd lose another kid for the season. And I think at one point we were down to 7 players. I think we're back up. We may be back up to 8 right now. I don't know. We'll go to the locker room and we'll see. But you know, and it's been a challenge. And she, you know, her answer was exactly. You asked the question to Jasmine, what was the change and what happened? And literally, that is what happened. I'm laughing because I knew what kind of answer you were looking for, and that wasn't it. But that is what happened. You know, we just walked in one day and said, "Look, guys, we know what we can do. We know this is what we're the kind of team we need to be. Let's get rid of all this other mess and let's go." And those 2 bought in and did it. But it's been a strange year for us with as good a team as we've had, with all the injuries and all the different things. It's just been something. It's just every time you turn around, you expect something else to hit you. And this team, that's why I didn't think they'd have the wherewithal to make it back. That's why I'm proud of what they've been able to do.